I introduce myself a little bit more. You see, it's very difficult to break out science because today the world is dominated by science. Unless you do something really special, you have to depend on science for survival. You are totally, most scientists, if you ask them to come here, they probably say, no, I'm in science. If I come here, I'm no longer I'm in spiritual world. They might take this thing, as not a good situation. You see, what I did was I had engineering training from Massachusetts Institute of Technology, BS degree in electrical engineering, MS degree in nuclear engineering, all from MIT. Then I become very theoretical, so I had physics training, get a doctor of science degree in nuclear engineering in plasma physics, and also I was twice the table tennis champion at MIT. So I don't go to class as much as I go play table tennis. Okay. Then finally I get into mathematics. Okay, Courant Institute of Mathematical Science. This is the world center of mathematics after during World War II. Courant is the student of David Hilbert, and one of 6 best students, Harold Grad, was my boss at Courant Institute. So at Courant Institute, I established a correct theoretical foundation, the Generalized Fluid Description for plasma physics. After I did that, I feel I can leave science because I have established the correct foundation for the field I was working on. On the other hand, I solved the problem of value. So I feel I need to figure out what is this solution, what's the implication of this solution. So I studied logic in the Department of Philosophy with Paul Feyerabend at the University of California, Berkeley. I worked as a research associate for 8 years and studied everything I still feel I need to know. So in summary, I solved the problem of touch. That is the jump pulse I talk about. In 1968, I solved the problem of value in 1972. I solved the problem of software in 1986. I also predict the savings and loan crisis in 1984. And they realized it's a crisis by 1991. So it's far before they realize it's a crisis. And also I predict the subprime woe in June of 2006. In my opinion, the US Federal Reserve Board is still confused about the global financial crisis, which was caused by its increase of the interest rate. The interest rate increased too fast, so it caused the price to drop, and they don't know the effect of the interest on the price. Therefore, they increased the interest rate, and the crash caused the subprime woe. See, world's leading financial authority, U.S. Federal Reserve Board Chairman Bernanke's 2010 speech at the American Economic Association annual meeting on page 21 states, interest rate increase in 2003 and 2004 sufficient to constrain the bubble could have seriously weakened the economy at just the time when the recovery from the previous recession was becoming stabilized, which contradicts the data on the next page. Okay, here's the data. The data says 2004 to 2006, not 2003 to 2004. So this is a major speech, and this is the most important point. And why did he make such a mistake? You see, now he quits. So, you know. So, but he's the most knowledgeable person. He's a friend. He knows me. You know, he and Alan Grad, they both know me. But they quite make such a big mistake. And also maybe the chart is made by his assistant, and he wrote the speech, so he can blame the fault to Alan Greenspan. You know, Alan, he was on board by 2006. So anything happened before 2006, it's not his responsibility. But that's not important. The important thing is, you know, the most central question, you know, and also he mentioned this is because he saw that I will be going to the conference to listen to him. So he admit, you know, in the last slide. In the speech, he admit that the sufficient control could have seriously weakened the economy. He admit they made a mistake. He said, so basically the world is confused. The U.S., at least U.S. is confused. Maybe there's some people elsewhere knows what is going on. The solution value is the law of nature. After saving loan crisis, they passed a law. It's called the Financial Institutions Reform, Recovery and Enforcement Act of 1989, FIRA. That is a man-made law. That is possibly the worst law man can make. Okay, this law worsened the real estate crisis in 2007. And the subprime woe of 2008 was over an order of magnitude, 10 times worse than the saving loan crisis, for which FIRA was passed. The reason, what's the reason? The reason they force people to use the wrong method to determine the price. If you don't force them, maybe they still find some way to figure out. But if you force them to make the wrong method, to use the wrong method, then everything collapsed. Everybody did the wrong thing. Yeah. Okay, here we go to a